Hi, everyone. My name's Annette Kelley-Whittle, and I work with the Orange Workforce Alliance. So I work with the three workforce development boards in the Orange County region, and more closely on this project with the Santa Ana Workforce Development Board. Okay, with the counseling project for us, we worked with the youth with the Workforce Development Board at Santa Ana. The youth were going through a work experience program, basically where they start off through the program going through some employment readiness workshops, and then we transition them into working with an employer in the Orange County region. And so these individuals, what we were able to do is take 5 of those individuals as a cohort and work with them through the exercises in developing their career mapping journey. As a part of our process, the individuals were able to be paid during that since they were part of our work experience program. So it might be a little bit different than some of the other programs, but we had 2 in-person sessions where on 2 different Mondays where they came in for a couple of hours and we started to go through the exercises. And I think that the youth, it took a little bit for them to kind of get comfortable, start to open up. We were also able to kind of share our own personal journeys, which I did this along with David at Santa Ana. And so there was the 2 of us together that did this. And we have varying stories, but it's always nice to have a couple of different perspectives when sharing with the students, hoping that they can relate to some of what we said. And they as well were able to kind of share a little bit about themselves in that first meeting. I think that some of them had already were working their way towards applying for college and had done some work around just their life story in general. So I think this just added another layer to that of helping them improve upon that. And as for some, it was the first time really delving into anything to where they really had to kind of share their story. And then, during their time, we had them go back and do homework. So before we even came into the first session, we sent them the prompts and we asked them to work on their narrative. So then after we went through the exercises and we sent them home with homework to rework their narrative and came back on the second day and we followed up with the talking about imposter syndrome, as well as the networking and developing that social capital. I think for me, my favorite was probably talking about social capital and the importance of that. And I think especially when working with populations that may have some types of barriers or didn't necessarily come from backgrounds where there are key relationships that they can build upon. I think that social capital is a very important subject that really can help propel somebody. I mean, if you can really start to develop those networks and draw upon whether those are your professors or people, it could be church, trying to help them identify who could be a part of that network, right? Who can I work with on that? And so I think that was a very important piece, helping them to understand my own life story in that social capital played a huge role, I think, in my life, which my dad had a lot of, and it helped me, and so from there, I've learned the importance of that myself, so I was able to share that with them. Um, and then it culminated into them submitting their final narratives and everything, so which we are still going through and compiling. And then during their homework time, we also were able to pay them for the time that they spent outside of the classroom as well. So I think that there's a little bit of incentive there too.